that every day we're barraged with about 3,500 brand messages. And how is a person able to keep up with all this and actually make sense of it? And especially for marketers, how are we supposed to be able to break through that clutter and get their attention at the same time that people aren't trusting us? Okay, that's the framework of what we're dealing with right now. And of course, we all know that social media is blooming all over the world at various levels. But if you just look at some of the sharing functions here, whether it's sharing on social networks, uploading content, even email, which counts as a social sharing function, it's just booming all across the globe. Well, at Ford, our way of dealing with this is very consistent with the way we've developed our company over the last 108, 109 years. We're fortunate that the founder of our company, Henry Ford, his name is still on our logo today. I would posit that we are probably the most human of all the automakers. We were identified with Henry Ford for the first 40 years of our existence. And the Ford family still owns the company today. And so we take a very similar approach with social media, humanizing everything we do, bringing value to people, just as Henry Ford brought value to the world some 100 years ago. It's founded on our One Ford plan, which brought us all together. We actually had been running as separate entities, Ford of Europe, Ford of Asia Pacific and Africa, Ford of the Americas. Well, when Alan Mulally came in from Boeing about 5 years ago to take over as CEO, he put together with his team this plan that focused us all together. And it meant that we had a plan to get through those really difficult days in automotive. We also had great products because our plan was to finance our research and development and our product cadence. We've got top-of-the-line technology, including the sync system, which we're introducing to Europe, where you bring in any device, whether it's an iPhone, an Android, a BlackBerry, and that's how your car's connectivity system is powered. It's based on the concept of built-in, beamed-in, and brought-in technology. The built-in is the infrastructure we put in place. The brought-in is the stuff that you bring into the vehicle. And the beamed-in is data from the cloud that's actually getting live-streamed into your car via your device. And this alone is kind of creating a halo effect around Ford, and especially with the younger generation as a reason to buy. And beyond that, and another reason that the younger generation looks to us is for how we contribute to the world, how we give back to making the world a better place. Which again is not something that's unique to us now, not something we're doing because it's cutting edge and everybody's talking about corporate social responsibility. This is something that Henry Ford believed in 100 years ago, giving back to the communities in which we do business. And it's something that his great-grandson, our executive chairman, Bill Ford, completely believes and espouses. And if you ask Bill Ford what Ford is, he won't say we're a car company. He won't say we're in the transportation business. He'll say we are a green, global, high-tech company that's improving people's lives. And to some that may sound like a stretch, but we can prove it out. And it's visionary, and it's aspirational. It gives everybody something to get behind as a company. Now, Henry Ford gave people something to get behind with this ad in the January 1925 issue of the Saturday Evening Post. It was an iconic ad about opening the highways to all mankind. Henry wanted to make it apparent, or wanted to make it available for anyone in the world to drive an automobile if they cared to. He wanted to make it affordable, not just for the 1%ers. And that was part of his, I've got a couple of call-outs from the ad here. That was part of his vision, was making this new form of mobility available to everyone. And more importantly, the responsibility it put on Ford to give back to the world in which we do business. And this all ties to social media and social purpose, which is a lot of what we do. Of course, Henry said that the business that makes nothing but money is a poor business. Again, he believed in giving back to the communities in which we do business. Ford of Britain actually just celebrated 100 years in existence because Henry believed that you need to be present where you're actually selling your vehicles. Now, in terms of giving back, again, Bill Ford continues with his vision and this notion that having a social purpose, it starts with a vision, a business decision. And last year at TED, Bill talked about the need to have connected vehicles and vehicles that are connected with the infrastructure because megacities in the future, within 20 years, are going to form a basis for global gridlock. Last year in Beijing, we saw a 9-day-long traffic jam, right? Well, this is going to become more the norm if we don't work together as an industry, not just Ford, but as an industry, and with the governments and infrastructure and whatnot to create smart grids that alleviate congestion, that allow people to do things and to get goods and services from place to place, to live better and more productive lives that benefits the entire society. And Harvard Business Review agreed that the companies that actually bake social purpose into their being are the ones that will succeed in the long term. Our Chief Technology Officer, Paul Mascarenas, actually talked about this, that we actually have the technology in place right now to make this happen. It's just a matter of connecting these dots. So it's how you take social purpose, out of it create a social movement, and out of that get social outcomes. I'll give you an example of how this actually comes to play. Well, in December of last year, the Atlanta Diaper Bank tweeted that they had received 50,000 diapers from Huggies, and they needed some help in actually distributing them. And we intercepted that tweet. We worked with a local Ford dealer who ended up providing them with a Ford truck to transport all of these diapers, and we ended up getting media coverage around that because it's, again, it's part of who we are. It's part of giving back to that local community. We happened to intercept it at the corporate level, but it was something that we could do to give back to that very important community. And the resultant earned media that we saw reached over 1 million people, which drove the perception of Ford. So we like to say that we subscribe to the Woody Allen theory of social media. And Woody Allen said 90% of life is just showing up. Well, so is social media. It's a matter of being where people expect you to be. On Facebook, for example, we have over 70 Facebook pages. And it's not because we have a fetish for Facebook or anything. It's because we have lots of different fans and fan bases around the world. People that don't want a fire hose of all Ford information. I can guarantee you that our Mustang fans are not necessarily interested in our electric vehicles. Although the opposite may be true. But what we do is we give them choices. And we put it together on a Pages tab on our main Ford Motor Company Facebook page and give people a choice as to how they want to consume the content. And we let them know that there are over 9 million people around the world who, in one way or another, are fans of Ford, showing that there's a collective nature here. Now, this notion of being global in our approach really isn't that complicated. To mix metaphors, it's not rocket surgery, right? It's pretty simple. The execution of it at the local level has to, of course, take into account local cultures, local tools, obviously local products as well. But as long as we set the stage at the global level, it should be consistent throughout the world. And those principles are fairly simple. First, you gotta have good products. Because anything we do as social marketers won't matter if you don't have good products. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but Bill Cosby once said that he asked a friend about cocaine. His friend seemed to be really into cocaine. He said, I don't get it. Why are you into cocaine? He said, well, you see, cocaine intensifies your personality.